the friends or the fake friends, their attorneys reacted to this claim by Tatum.
And it's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's not a traditional lie detector test, but it's the same theology of trying to get to if a person is lying. I don't know the name of it. It's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's a different methodology. Yeah, I don't believe it was a polygraph test. I believe they took other stressors in order to analyze if the people were telling the truth or not. So then the answer to
did they take a polygraph would be no.
Grown man.
Gentlemen, thank you for being with us tonight. My first question to clear up this matter: have your clients taken polygraphs? First to you, Tyler Cox.
Nancy, my clients have not taken a polygraph test. And I can...
Edward, how did you get involved in this case?
Well, I'd rather not talk about that. I can just tell you this. I can tell you that it was through a friend of a friend.
You're kidding, right? You're kidding me. Because when you tell me I'd rather not answer...
Well, I want to protect the names that...
igniting me to find out how you got involved in the case.
Well, hold on. I can tell you a little bit more. I can tell you this. I can tell you...
I don't know about y'all, but when somebody already gets caught in a lie...
It's the GS3 report, and I'm back with another video, man. What's going on, chat? I want to get into this content with Poetic Flacco once again. Shout out Poetic Flacco on the great content he been dropping on this Nolan Wells situation that has gotten crazier and crazier, you guys. Now, these guys have been lying and lying and lying and getting more caught up in their lies. Now, here at the GS3 report, we are here to give you some news that you can use, and I hope you guys don't abuse it, just use it. Let's get into the content. Shout out to all my new subscribers. I don't want to hold you guys no longer. Let's get into it.
Nancy Grace just humiliated the attorneys of Nolan Wall's fake friends live on her show for everybody to see. Had them stuck, had them stuttering, had them confused. And these are attorneys. Now, I want to point out something very peculiar that I found very interesting. See, when the attorneys went to go sit down with Officer Tatum, they brought, like Nolan Wall's fake friends with them, right? They brought Warren, they brought Jobs, they brought everybody to come and sit down with Officer Tatum and tell their side of things. When they went to go talk to Nancy Grace, you know what they did? They left them at home. They made sure Nolan Wall's friends or fake friends was nowhere in the vicinity of Nancy Grace. They left them at home. If Officer Tatum gets to speak to, them, then why can't Nancy Grace? So I found that peculiar. One of the first things they addressed is the lie that Tatum was telling on his show before he went on Nancy Grace, and Nancy Grace absolutely embarrassed him. So they addressed this bold-faced lie that Tatum has told. But here's the thing, it's really bad for Tatum because it's one thing if myself or Nancy Grace or Don Lemon, if we go off and expose you, but it's another thing for the people who you claim to be defending, for them to...
Yeah, man, this dude been sitting up lying the whole time, making up stuff on Nolan Wells' mama and all type of stuff, man. He even lied and said that Nolan Wells' mom is about to sue the 3 young boys, and that's a total lie. Like, he just been lying, just making up things as he go, making up things as he go. We're gonna get into that content next.
To come on Nancy Grace and expose you for lying is crazy, right? So the claim was these kids took a lie detector test, right? These kids took a polygraph.
Back to Officer Tatum, star of The Officer Tatum on YouTube. Have the friends taken polygraphs?
Well, from my understanding, all but I believe one took a polygraph, and from what was told to me that they all passed. And all of the ones that took a polygraph took one without a lawyer. And they cooperated with law enforcement. So from my understanding, everybody took a polygraph test. Why do you say that's
from what you understand? Did they tell you they took a poly and passed?
Yes, ma'am. They told me that they did it. I wasn't there. So that's what I'm saying from my understanding. They told me that all the boys except one, which is Warren, I believe, took a polygraph test. All of them did not have lawyers and did it and cooperated with police. Warren also cooperated police. I just believe he didn't take a lie detector test, but Warren is the young man that I interviewed. So according to what they told me, they all took a lie detector test and passed.
I'm sure a lot of you guys remember that particular interview. It didn't go well for Tatum. Like, Nancy Grace destroyed Tatum in every corner. Like, Tatum was not the arrogant, pompous, condescending Tatum that he usually is with people who he knows don't.
Got on his ass. Got on his ass, chat. I'm talking about he's right there stuttering. He pulled a Flacco. He pulled a Flacco. Shout out Nancy Grace because she has been going off and has not been letting up. She has not been letting up. We're gonna start tuning into some of her content too, you guys.
Really know that much. Nancy Grace had Tatum terrified. This was the interview where Tatum was actually forced to admit that they didn't get a lie detector test. They didn't get a polygraph. All the boys did. Well, you'll find out shortly if all the boys got it, okay? But come to find out, that might have been a lie too. But this is the interview, and this was the first time that Tatum was actually forced to admit it wasn't a lie detector test. It was the equivalent of voice stress test. But on any other platform, and on his particular YouTube channel and show, he was telling that lie, oh, they got a polygraph, they passed, y'all just... He went on Nancy Grace, and Nancy Grace forced him to tell the truth. Now, the friends or the fake friends, their attorneys reacted to this claim by Tatum.
And it's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's not a traditional lie detector test, but it's the same theology of trying to get to if a person is lying. I don't know the name of it. It's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's a different methodology. Yeah, I don't believe it was a polygraph test. I believe they took other stressors in order to analyze if the people were telling the truth or not. So then the answer to
did they take a polygraph would be no. That is Officer Tatum from The Officer Tatum on YouTube. Joining us tonight are two very special guests. They are convinced of the friends, and when I say quoties, I don't mean they are or they're not friends, because I don't know. The young men on the Triton boat that took Nolan Wells to Horn Island. Many argue he was on the boat on the return when foul play occurred. Many argue he was not. In fact, the timeline has blown up because there are reports that Nolan Wells was seen on the island after the friend's boat.
But when they said that, they don't even know. But they don't. They don't know, y'all. They don't know what they doing. They don't know what they talking about. And watch how she checked them, though. Watch how she checked them. They supposed to be lawyers, though.
Left, which would exonerate them.
If you watch Tatum's interview or the Chris Cuomo one or these other interviews they've done, they've been going around to these platforms with what they believe is their keystone evidence, which is we got two eyewitnesses who said they see Nolan Wells on the island at 6 p.m. Now, I always thought that was kind of odd because Katie said she last seen Nolan when the boys was calling them over. Katie has a picture on the island at 5:30. So if Katie...
Wait a minute. How do she got a picture on an island at 5:30? Wait, what? Wait, what? Hold on.
Katie and Nolan Wells was hanging out, and Katie was on the island at 5:30, and Katie is claiming that she didn't see Nolan on the island when she was there after the boys called him over. Then the eyewitnesses to me, I don't know, man. But that's been like their keystone evidence. Yeah, we got eyewitnesses. Nancy Grace does a really great job at taking something that they believe is concrete, is their smoking gun, and she made this so ineffective within a span of like 10 minutes.
Joining us tonight, Tyler Cox, the lawyer for several of the young men, with the law firm Taylor and Cox, him being the Cox. Also with us, another veteran trial lawyer, Edward Pulsick, attorney for the boys as well. Actually, they're not boys. They're adults in the eyes of the law due to their age.
Thank you. I was waiting for somebody to say that because everybody keep calling them boys, boys. Oh, the boys. Nolan Wells' friends, them ain't his friends, and they not boys. Them grown men, cause them grown men. Let's start there. Facts. Them grown men. Facts. Them grown men.
Gentlemen, thank you for being with us tonight. My first question to clear up this matter, have your clients taken polygraphs? First to you, Tyler Cox.
Nancy, my clients have not taken a polygraph test. And I can tell you why. Because
Tatum said they did. So what you talking about? Ex-Officer Tatum said your clients took a lie detector tests, but they might not have been real ones. There was like some little low budget ones. I don't know. So I'm using the word low budget because they said they wasn't the real ones. So with that being said, what is it that you are saying right now? So you saying Tatum is lying? So you saying Tatum a lie?
any lawyer worth their salt is going to tell their clients not to take a polygraph test under any circumstances. Two of my clients went in and made statements with me. We're not going to make a, or I'm not going to do a polygraph test because one, as you know, they're not admissible in court, and so it wasn't going to be admissible anyway.
To be fair, I've heard that a ton. Like, I've heard attorneys say, bro, innocent or guilty, my client ain't taking no polygraph test, bro. It's just too risky, not happening. But ain't a polygraph test like 99% like accurate? I'm not sure, right? But so I've heard attorneys say this, so I'm not saying this is just exclusive to, I've heard of attorneys say this before. This is not brand new. But here's the strange part about this. Attorneys who don't allow their clients to take polygraph tests, they don't also allow their clients to take the equivalents to polygraphs lie detector tests, right? So if you would allow your clients to go in and take probably an easier version of the polygraph, an easier version of the lie detector test, an easier version is probably easier to pass. If you would allow them to take the easier version, like the voice stress test, if you would allow them to take the voice stress test, then why wouldn't you have allowed them to take the polygraph? Because lawyers or attorneys who are absolutely against polygraphs, they are also against less versions of the polygraphs. But if you're saying your clients took the voice stress test, but the polygraph is where you drew the line there, come on, son. Like, we not supposed to think that's sketchy? We not supposed to think that is off?
You should never, ever, if you're a lawyer, allow your clients to take a polygraph test. Now, we allowed investigators from the jump to have access to their phones, their Live 360, everything. We have cooperated implicitly every step of the way. But no, they didn't take polygraph tests. But what I'll tell you is one of the other boys, who I won't mention their name, but I'm sure that you've heard, took one. The girl that Nolan was with took a stress analysis voice test, and so did the other boy. So that's the test they took. Both of them passed. And so, again, no lawyer worth the salt is going to tell his clients to take a polygraph test or anything like that.
Okay, that's big, and that's very important. So let's slow it down for a second. Now, Tatum lied. That right there is a confirmation that Tatum lied. Tatum says all the boys took it. He's representing Warren.
He said that. He definitely said that. So why would he lie and say they all took the lie detector test, the bullcrap one, and nobody took one at all? Nobody took one at all.
Jax and Morgan. Warren, Jackson, Morgan, the friends who were supposedly on the boat, they didn't take the polygraph nor the voice stress test according to this dude right here, right? One other boy took the voice stress test, and then Katie, he says, took the polygraph. So Katie, the girl they're saying was with Nolan last, she took the polygraph, and in her polygraph, well, not in her polygraph, but her story was The last time I seen Nolan was when they was calling him over. Katie volunteered without an attorney because, again, Katie don't got Donald Trump's attorney. Katie don't got $200,000 from white supremacists. Katie do not have the resources they have. Katie says, bro, I got nothing to hide. She got up, took a polygraph without anybody being there to represent her.
Wait a minute. So Katie took, so out of everybody, the girl they trying to say he was with last, and she steady keep on telling them, I was not with him. I seen him get on that boat with them. I was not with him. I seen Nolan get on a boat with them. And they steady saying, oh, he was with her. And then they switched the story up and said something about he had her in his arm or something like he was rocking the cradle and all that. And they left him with her because he wanted to stay. And it's normal to get a ride back from somebody else and all that. But Katie is the one that took the lie detector test before anybody. So why y'all haven't took it?
And she passed. But the grown men, because I'm done calling them boys, the grown men who says they've been lied on, they won't go ahead and sit down for it. Now, here's the thing. They're filing civil suits. Nolan Wells' family intend on filing civil suits as well. In civil court, as Nancy Grace is about to point out, because their thing is, well, they're not admissible in criminal court. Yeah, but if y'all are innocent, y'all not worried about criminal court, right? Y'all worried about these civil suits. Well, in civil court, if both sides agree, apparently in Mississippi and in some states, if both sides agree and they sign an agreement beforehand, the lie detector test, the polygraph, can be entered in as evidence in a civil suit, in civil court. So if you guys is filing lawsuits about, hey man, we innocent, and Nolan Wall's family is also filing certain lawsuits, I believe, then why wouldn't y'all take this polygraph? Both sides agree, yeah, let's sign, and we agree wholeheartedly. We would abide by the results of this polygraph, and y'all go ahead and sit down for it. Nancy Grace then pivots, right? She pivots for a little bit, and you about to see if she's so cold with it. She's so cold with it. She looks at Donald Trump's attorney, the guy who was wearing the Carl Cox hat, right? And she asks him a very simple question, a question that if you have nothing to hide is very simple. Here's what happened, here's what happened, here's what happened, right? She asked the dude, you are a powerhouse attorney. You are like Donald Trump's attorney. How did you get involved in this? How can these kids afford you? Now, the answer that's been suspected is the governor, the sheriff, some very high power people in Ocean Springs got this dude involved.
Okay, Flacco, now you in my head. Now you in my head, pause. Because I said the same thing. How in the how in the how in the heck did they get Donald Trump lawyer? Who paid for him? Who had him on retainery? I'm trying to figure out who had him on retainer. Because I know he costs a pretty penny. Because Donald Trump is a billionaire. And if you Donald Trump lawyer, I know you're going to cost a pretty penny. So who put him on a team, though? These young regular boys just read who in a town that's famous or got some type of name that can get Donald Trump lawyer to come. That is preposterous. I am perplexed right now.
But listen to his answer, and you tell me, would you trust these people? Would you trust these people after an answer like this?
Edward Pulsick joining us in addition to Tyler Cox, both of them veteran trial lawyers. He is with Taylor Dykema. Edward, how did you get involved in this case?
Well, I'd rather not talk about that. I can just tell you this.
What? What's so confidential about how you got involved in this case? Oh, yeah. Hey, listen, a friend of a friend. That could have been simple. Now, he eventually tries to use the friend of a friend excuse. But no, it's much deeper than that, bro. It's much deeper. It had to have been somebody in a position of power. I wouldn't be surprised, man, if the governor called and said, "Hey, bruh, listen, man. Hey, listen, man. Yo, the race issue here is becoming a problem, bro. We need somebody to step in to go after these people, man, because they making it too loud." I wouldn't be surprised if the sheriff who was investigating, "Hey, bro, we need you." The only reason you wouldn't want to say is because some very powerful people who are probably involved with this case hit you up to go on the defense of potential suspects, which would be an odd thing, because if these potential suspects are supposed to be getting investigated, then the people that be in the people in power are calling you to defend. Like, it's just weird. Now, I can't confirm this. I don't know for a shadow of a doubt. This is just my opinion, but somebody's saying, "Oh, I can't talk about that." What? As an attorney, that's the best answer? Yo, even if you wanted to kind of, you felt like clean it up a little bit more, you could. But as an attorney, the best answer you had was, "Well, I can't talk about that." What?
Edward Pulsick joining us in addition to Tyler Cox, both of them veteran trial lawyers. He is with Taylor Dykema. Edward, how did you get involved in this case?
Well, I'd rather not talk about that. I can just tell you this. I can tell you that it was through a friend of a friend.
You're kidding, right? You're kidding me. Because when you tell me I'd rather not answer,
Well, I want to
That's
protect
just
the names. I wanna protect
igniting
the
me
na-
to find out how
Well,
you got
hold on.
involved in the
Well,
case.
Well, hold on. I can tell you a little bit more. I can tell you this. I can tell you.
I don't know about y'all, but when somebody already gets caught in a lie, and they're like, hold on, and their eyes go like this, and their eyes go left, right, and up, and they're doing everything in their power to think up or something, that means they're probably about to tell you something that's not true. Bro already knew Nancy Grace was about to dive into this, so he went, wait, no, I can tell you more. So what? Like, there's not a human being, and you could be the most emotionally illiterate human being on planet Earth. You could see that body language with the eyes gesture and tell, okay, yeah, he about to tell us something that's clearly not true, right? In my opinion, allegedly, I have no facts.
A close friend who knows the Ocean Springs, Mississippi community very, very well, is from the area.
Who's the close friend? Who's the close friend? Just give us their profession. Don't even give us their name. Give us their profession. Who's the close friend? Who knows the Ocean Spring area very, very, very well. It sounds like somebody in a position of power. It sounds like a mayor. It sounds like a governor. It sounds like a senator. It sounds like somebody who's on city council, maybe a sheriff, chief of police. It sounds like somebody who is really involved in the decision-making in Ocean Springs. And if that's the case, if somebody who is really involved, somebody who has authority and power in Ocean Springs, if they are on the side of the kid, these are grown men. If they're on the side of these grown men, then how can we be sure and confident that a thorough investigation would take place? How can we be sure that this investigation isn't already tainted or biased? There's a reason why he's not saying who exactly it is, because he understands how it was going to reflect once we know their profession or their title.
But you do know that people can look you right in the face and lie through your teeth, and you believe them. Just because somebody tells you the sky is blue does not mean the sky is blue. You do know that, right?
Well, I can tell you this: they were off Horn Island at 4:30 p.m. on July 4th, and Nolan Wells was seen alive.
Now we're getting somewhere. How can you prove that to me other than them telling you? I assume you've got GPS tracking and the call to CETO?
We have witnesses, among other things, but I can also tell you this: they were off the island at 4:30 p.m. and Nolan Wells was seen alive by multiple people at 6 p.m. still on the island. And I'm sure Tyler would be happy to elaborate on that. But this is a no doubt, 100%.
Please tell me, Tyler.
Yes.
Had multiple witnesses reach out to us. Two confirmed witnesses that saw Nolan Wells on the island around 6 p.m. on July 4th. Well after the Triton, as you said, left around 4:30. And so those witnesses have went to investigators, they've talked to the police, and they've done what they're supposed to do. We've cooperated 100%. So has
Where did they
those
see him,
witnesses.
Tyler Cox? Where did the witnesses see them? Do they know him well enough to make a positive ID? Hey, speaking of a positive ID.
Here's the thing. These are attorneys. They know better, right? But they're able to get this off when they're talking to somebody like Officer Tatum, who's either ignorant or overzealous to believe them, right? So Nancy Grace says, hold on, bro. Y'all are attorneys. Y'all know the protocol when it comes to eyewitnesses. Like, y'all know the questions you got to ask and which questions disqualifies them from being credible. Did y'all propose those questions? And if you guys did not propose those questions, why are you guys so quick to believe them and take their word for it? So then she gave us a real life reenactment of how this is supposed to go, all right? She made the attorneys, well, not made them, right? She just effectively, right, by her arguments, put them in a hot seat. And she cross-examined them. And they absolutely unraveled, absolutely got humiliated. Here is Nancy Grace within probably like 30 or 40 seconds, completely debunking, right, the eyewitnesses see Nolan Wells, completely debunking, annihilating it, getting it out the paint.
Mr. Paltzik, Mr. Cox, I know the two of you. I don't see both of them. There they are. The two of you have tried a lot of cases, as have I. To get in or attack an eyewitness, and it's in the code, the official code of Mississippi annotated. There are prescribed methods under which you cross-examine an eyewitness. For instance, does the witness know the target? Was the lighting sufficient? How far away was the witness? What were the conditions of the eyewitness identification? Was the eyewitness inebriated or high or otherwise incapacitated? How far away were they? Do they wear glasses? It goes on and on and on. It's laid out in the code. Tell me about these witnesses. How do they know it was Nolan? Hey, control room, show me that picture of Nolan on the boat. He's bent over. All I can see are his legs and his behind. The only reason I think that's Nolan is because it matches his swimsuit. Did they see that? How can they identify Nolan? First to you, Tyler.
Well, I'm not sure if the witnesses saw that picture that you just put on screen, but I can confirm to you that these witnesses know Nolan. They've known him for a long time. They were able to make a positive ID. And they told that to investigators. They told them that from the very start.
Had they been drinking?
That I do not know.
How are they sure it was 6 o'clock? Look, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm asking the questions I would ask in court. How do they know it was 6 o'clock? Did they go, oh, there's Nolan Wells at 6 p.m.?
Well, I'm pretty sure, Nancy, they were aware of the time. Man, listen, man. Hey, listen. Listen, bro. First off, man, right off the bat, how close were they? How far were they from Nolan? Where were they? Were they drinking? Were they drunk? Did these two know each other? Did they have a chance to corroborate their story together before? Like at this point, it's like, come on, bro. Now I see why those grown men ain't go on Nancy Grace. Now I see why the quote unquote friends ain't go on Nancy Grace too. Because if the lawyers were stumbling and fumbling and if the lawyers was having this hard of a time talking to Nancy Grace, can you imagine? Yo, bro, can you imagine Warren sitting through Nancy Grace cross-examination? And these questions shouldn't be this hard, bro. Like, my thing is, these lawyers understand and they know, right? They know, right, that the standard of proving an eyewitness credible, they know the standard, and they know the eyewitnesses that they have don't really meet that standard. But they're still parading the eyewitnesses out here as if they're credible because that's all they really have. Y'all let me know in the comment section, man, what y'all think about this, man. Do y'all feel like Nancy Grace got the best of him. Bro, she humiliated him. We're doing, by the way, a full reaction to this on live stream sometimes this week or this weekend, okay? But I'm gonna see you guys in this next video if you're still watching. Right here is where I break down how Draco the Roller's father accidentally exposed DJ Mustard and the Blood's role in Draco's death. I'm gonna see you guys in this video somewhere on my screen. Oh, by the way, that's just my opinion, allegedly, okay? I'm gonna see you guys in this video somewhere on my screen.
The GS3 report, like, comment, subscribe, and we're gonna keep good vibes, man. And I'm gonna keep y'all up to date with this Nolan Wells case, man. Y'all tune in. And I always give y'all news that y'all can use. I don't want you to abuse, just use the news.